Today we're tackling some Nutanix infrastructure concepts for the NCA 7.5 exam that can seriously trip people up in practice.
Yeah, these are the exact situations that, separate theory from real-world survival.
Right. We're covering seriously practical stuff like identifying CPU contention, one-node cluster updates, and migrating storage without downtime. Let's jump right into some real problems so you can see how these topics get tested.
Let's do it.
First up, imagine you're at a mid-sized SaaS company. Your critical VMs are peaking, and you need to detect CPU contention. Do you create a custom alert based on VM CPU ready time, increase your vCPU cores, enable pulse monitoring, or just check the average CPU usage in Prism?
Well, honestly, if an app feels sluggish, most admins immediately just check the average CPU usage in Prism. It's totally familiarity bias.
And that is exactly the trap.
Wait, really?
Yeah, the correct answer is actually the first option, CPU ready time. Think of average CPU usage like looking at how fast a grocery cashier is scanning items. CPU ready time is how long you actually spend waiting in line before the cashier even looked at you.
Oh, wow. That makes perfect sense. So average CPU only shows workload demand, not the scheduling delays from a busy host.
Exactly.
That eliminates Prism average CPU then. And I guess just throwing more vCPU cores at it is a classic mistake. I mean, adding cores doesn't fix a scheduling bottleneck. It just makes the waiting line worse.
Right on the money. So let's say your host is running fine, but you need to do maintenance. You're using the Lifecycle Manager, or LCM, to update a one-node Nutanix cluster. Which update is actually supported? AOS only, software only, inventory only, or firmware only?
Let me think here. Firmware feels pretty foundational, right? So maybe firmware only.
See, I thought that too, but here's the twist. It's actually software only.
Ah.
Yeah, think about it like this. A software update is like changing the radio station in your car. A firmware update requires a full hardware reboot, which is like trying to change the tires while you're driving down the highway.
Oh, I get it. Yeah, without a second redundant node to fail over to, a reboot is just completely fatal to your uptime.
Precisely. Single nodes have zero redundancy, so hardware reboots are an absolute no-go. That eliminates firmware, and it also eliminates AOS updates, the Acropolis operating system, because, those can require restarts too.
Makes sense.
Which brings us to building these environments in the first place. If you need to quickly deploy multiple identical VMs in Prism Central, what's your tool? Categories, snapshots, volume groups, or templates?
I mean, snapshots are incredibly tempting here. If I can figure a perfect VM, I just want to clone its current state, right?
It sounds totally logical, but the answer is templates.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Templates are like a cookie cutter. They provide a reusable, scalable configuration for CPU, memory, and software. Snapshots are just, taking a photograph to restore a specific point in time.
Right. Snapshots are for recovery, not mass deployment, so that knocks out snapshots. And volume groups are just for storage anyway, not full VM deployments.
Now, once those VMs are deployed, how do you stay warned about potential bugs? What exactly do Nutanix Field Advisories provide? Lists of certified third-party vendors, new product releases, installation procedures, or known issues and workarounds. I always assume these are just sales brochures for new releases.
Yeah, a lot of people do. But nope, they are actually known issues and workarounds. Think of a field advisory as a car safety recall notice, not a sales brochure.
Oh, that's a great way to put it.
Yeah, it explicitly tells you about identified bugs, the impact, and how to work around them. That immediately eliminates vendors and product releases.
Good to know. Okay, speaking of safety, say you spot an issue and need to immediately create a snapshot for a single VM. Which method do you use? Connecting to the controller VM, Prism Central images, connecting to Prism Element, or Prism Central data protection?
Well, everything is centralized these days, so I'd lean heavily toward one of the Prism Central options.
But the answer is Prism Element.
Really?
Because Prism Element is for direct local VM management. It's like pulling the local emergency brake in your specific train car instead of, calling central dispatch. Prism Central just isn't the quickest method for immediate single VM local actions.
That local control is vital. But what happens when local control isn't enough and you need the manufacturer to step in?
Perfect bridge to our next scenario. What capability does the Nutanix Remote Support Tunnel actually provide? Nutanix Support troubleshooting access, workload migration, VM replication, or encrypted guest connections. I'm guessing migration to the cloud.
Actually, it's just support troubleshooting access. It's like giving Nutanix a temporary secure digital key to your server rooms so they can look at the wiring themselves.
So no migration at all.
Nope, it has absolutely nothing to do with migrating workloads or replicating data, which completely eliminates those options.
Okay, so Prism Element is for quick local fixes, and the support tunnel gets you outside help. But what happens when you need to do something highly complex yourself, like migrating a live virtual disk to another container without dropping the connection? Tool of choice Prism Element, the ACLI, the NCLI, or Prism Central?
I love a good visual dashboard, so I definitely guess Prism Element.
The correct answer is actually the ACLI, the Acropolis Command Line Interface. You're operating on a runner mid-marathon here.
Wait, why not the GUI?
The Prism GUIs actually have safety guardrails that prevent live storage migration because of the risk of data corruption. To force that mid-air handoff, you have to drop into the command line precision of ACLI.
Got it. The GUI protects you, but the command line lets you do the deep surgery.
Exactly. Final scenario, which tool simulates workloads to validate your infrastructure's behavior before you go to production? Collector, Foundation, X-Ray, or Move? I'll guess Foundation since it builds the cluster.
It's X-Ray. Foundation deploys the cluster, sure, but X-Ray is the crash test dummy for your data center. It physically simulates the workload so you can validate performance. That rules out Foundation, and Move is strictly for migrating workloads from legacy systems.
That's all the key points we shared for the NCA 7.5 exam today. Thanks for watching. If you found this helpful, subscribe and leave us a comment.